people keep saying Story? What about Story? No, Trevor Story's not on the IL. Why would Story be on the IL? What's up, distractions? Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Ref Snyder, updates on Grissom, update on Giolito, what that means. I guess it is positive news. What's up, Genetic? Versatility. Wow, Versatility's here early. Mr. Money Mike Madness. Prodigy, talking some football. What's up, Mr. Bob Dylan? How are you? What's up, Isle Paint? Harrison, how are you? Wade Bog. No. Story was, now you got me nervous. Double check, but last I heard, Story was perfectly healthy. What's up, Dennis? No, perfectly healthy from my end. What is that in the background? What is that? Oh, it's my water bottle. I was like, what the hell is that? Oh, nice. Gonna enjoy some time with the family. Mi casas e tu casas. See. What's up, L&D? We'll be in and out. Who do you think they'll bring in? Right-handed bat? I don't know. We just saw that. Alex Kors said they're still looking for a right-handed power bat, or could be, right? And that leaves a couple options. I still think J.D. Davis makes the most sense. Now that they fully released him, he cleared waivers, I guess, and then they fully released him, which is interesting to me. In my opinion, that might be the best option here because he could play first, third, and left field. And then you've got Adam Duvall. You've got Tommy Pham still on the market, which I think they're still pretty linked to. So, what's up, Arlen? Duvall and Monty coming. I hope Rangers get Cease, forces his hand. Wait, what? Oh, Yankees get Cease? I hope they don't. I hope he doesn't get Cease. That'd be terrible. What do you think the odds are of bringing in Monty? Dude, I really don't know. I've kind of given up on the whole Montgomery thing, to be honest with you. Oh, that's awesome, Spencer. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be nice to get actual baseball back, 2%. I'd say it's still like 7%, There's still, I would say, more than a glimmer of hope, but it's not much bigger. What's up, Braden? What's up, Manny? I don't think we need Duvall or Pham. The number one should be pitching. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, although I will say I'm not like shocked that they're considering a right-handed bat. I think a lot of it too is just I don't know, Disney World hell. Why? What's going on, Robbie? 7%. Where else can he go? That's sort of the reasoning. I'm not at 0. Right? What's up, Lee? Yeah, it's been a while. Welcome back, my friend. I said 7% because I just, at this point, right, if the Red Sox, in my opinion, were going to shell out the money, they would have already shelled out the money. I mean, we're literally what? 2 weeks away, right? What, 28th is opening day, right? So even if you sign him at this point, he's probably not going to be ready until, I would say, mid to late-ish April, right? Because you want to get him at least a full month. So, I mean, you literally have, we will be live streaming at 10 p.m. in 2 weeks from now, Red Sox opening day, right? And there's, so my opinion on Jordan Montgomery is if they were going to shell out the money, I would have thought they already would have, especially with Breslow and Bailey and Willard and all these sort of pitching guys in the organization now. They understand what it's going to take for him to be ready and good to go. And I don't know, maybe it's something like, maybe it is something like they're just waiting it out and they don't care. They're willing to wait. They think, hey, this rotation we have right now will be able to Band-Aid for a month, right? I don't know. Should I bet on the Red Sox to win the World Series? Absolutely, but only throw like a couple of bucks because I think a couple of bucks will win you like a couple hundred. Yeah, I saw that a couple of times too. Montgomery was not that great. I just don't know why people don't think Montgomery would be a good addition to the Red Sox. I really don't get it. What's up, Dennis? How far do I think we'll make it this year? I did my whole prediction video today. For those of you who didn't check it out, check it out. It's on my channel where I predicted the Red Sox record and stuff. I've officially, for a while now, I've been saying it because people have been asking, right? I've been saying, look, let me see how the rest of this offseason plays out. We're only 2 weeks away from opening day. At some point, I got to make a prediction, right? So I said that this team's really got a low floor. It's a low floor team, but it's also, I mean, it's not a 90-win ball club, but it does have a decent ceiling. You know, us as Red Sox fans have been so conditioned to assume that everything that could go wrong will go wrong because over the last couple of years, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, right? You talk about the rotation last year and how, you know, it was sort of the opposite of this rotation, right? Where you were relying on 3 out of the 5-year players as veteran guys making their way back. And you know, Sale and Paxton were good for a month and a half, and then they ran out of gas, basically, right? Or they got re-injured. This year, it's the rotation's the biggest point, but it's all young, right? It's 5 young guys essentially in Pavetta, right? It's Pavetta who you kind of know what you're gonna get from, but you're expecting a step up. And then it's Bayo, Crawford, Houck, and whoever wins that 5th spot, who I predicted was going to be Winkowski. And they're all unproven. So the assumption, I don't know. I think when we're looking at it record wise and how far they're going to make it this year, I had them between, what did I say, 75 and 86 wins. I know that that's a huge margin. I understand that. That's sort of a cop out, but that's really that's the thing, right? This team could be a super high range of outcomes. And I think, you know, there were people saying, oh, this team's not going to win 70 games. Like, to only win 68, 69 games puts you in the bottom 5 teams in all Major League Baseball. I don't think the Red Sox are a bottom 5 team. They're not, right? You've got Trevor Story, Rafael Devers, Tristan Casas. If they have decent seasons, you really can't be a bottom 5 team in the league. You just can't. So that's why I think it's hard for me to sit there and say. It's hard for me to sit there and say that they're gonna lose more than 70 games, or they're gonna not win more than 70 games. Monty in 5 years won't have aged well, I don't think. He's not a high strikeout domination guy. 6 well. I actually think Monty will be fine. I think Monty will age okay because he doesn't rely on the strikeout, right? Because naturally, as you get older, you lose your ability to strike guys out unless you're Nolan Ryan or Randy Johnson or Roger Clemens, which 99.999% of Major League Baseball players will never be, right? You lose that velocity, you lose that ability to strike a ton of guys out, so you need to start relying on other things. And so for me, if Monty's already doing that, if he's already relying on location and pitch break and spin rates, I think he'll be all right. So I'm not too worried about Monty aging. What I am worried about is past 5 years, right? If he is genuinely looking for a 6-year contract, that's too long. It's just too long of a contract. That'll be what, 37, I think. No team shelling out the money to have you until you're 40, right? There's no Padres out there who are pissed because they didn't get Aaron Judge. There's no one out there doing that. I think Monty, if it really is about years, which I have a hard time truly believing it is, because I think for a while now he's known that he's not going to get that 6-7 year deal. I think basically since the off season. If it truly is the years, he's going to have to bend at some point. There is no team in Major League Baseball that's going to bend for him. Someone's going to bend, and it's going to be Monty. Joely Rodriguez looking good. Didn't he give up like 3 runs today? Yeah, the offense looks good this spring for sure, L&D. We'll see how it goes. If you got one more starter, Whitlock and Wink in the pen makes it a dominant bullpen. I think they do have a really good bullpen. I think they do have a really good bullpen, even without one of those guys in there, Patrick. But it obviously makes it better, right? It gives you more innings in the bullpen, gives you more versatility in the bullpen, and it makes your rotation better because you're replacing them with someone probably better. Corbin, the Yankee fans here in the Bronx are thinking that they are World Series champion already. Wow, we'll have to see what's up with Garrett Cole first. How many games is Grissom missing again? They haven't given an exact date. My guess is he starts the year on the 15-day IL. He's going to need some time to work back up. He is starting baseball activities again, which is good, but they don't think he'll be ready for opening day. My guess is, like I predicted in today's video, I think I predicted when he was going to come back. I would guess later half of April, like 18th, 19th-ish, in that range, right? Miss about a month. Maybe he's getting back into baseball activities next week. Give him a month to build up, stuff like that. Do I think Don's spring training success is going to translate to him having a hot start of the year? Well, that depends. Some players, it's okay, it's the regular season, it's go time, right? Tristan Casas is kind of a good example of that, but to a lesser degree, right? But Manny was a great example of that. There were a couple other players too. Pedroia, kind of, right? He always played the game hard, but you would see him sort of build himself up. Other players, you really need to get that good start, get rolling. So when you get into regular season, it's like you're already warmed up. You're already there. I don't know which one Don is. So, and we have no real way of figuring that out. When do I expect Blaze Jordan, Kyle Teal, Roman Anthony, and Marcelo Meyer to be called up? Blaze is an interesting one because there's not really a place to put him. A lot of when these guys are going to get called up is based on need, right? To me, it wouldn't make sense to call up a Blaze Jordan, a Kyle Teal, Roman Anthony, and Marcelo Meyer just to sit on the bench, because then you're not doing anything for their development. You're going to have to figure out how to fit them into the everyday lineup. And with a guy like, in my opinion, Kyle Teal's probably the first one to get called up just because he has the easiest path to Major League Baseball. Roman Anthony, I predicted he'd come up towards the end of the season this season just because he's going to be so good. He's going to fight his way onto the team. Marcelo, I don't think we see until 2025 just because I think they want to get a full healthy season from him. And Blaze, I don't know, because you need to figure out a spot to put him. And right now, your two best players are the only positions he plays. We can still get the holy hand grenade. Who is that? Garrett Cole injury is giving me Chris Sale vibes at the end of the 2018 season. I hope not, man. It would kind of suck to see him go down. Oh my God. Did you see that, chat? What's up, Bucky? Wow. Out of absolutely nowhere. Padres are traded. Wow. Padres hopped in on that, huh? San Diego Padres are finalizing, per Jeff Passan, San Diego Padres are finalizing a trade to acquire right-handed pitcher Dylan Cease from the Chicago White Sox. Wow. Shocked. I'm curious. To see what this is. I wonder if they saw what the Yankees offered and just offered a little bit more. But very happy the New York Yankees are getting that. Oh my God, that would have sucked. I don't know Monty Python, no. I want to see what the package is. I do. Thought the Padres were cutting payroll. I mean, Cease isn't going to cost a lot. What did he make last year? Like $15 million? $8 million. So he's making $8 million this year. It's not exactly crazy. What's up, Stu? Man, that is surprising. I saw Jeff Passan and got so excited, chat. Honestly, I saw Jeff Passan and Padres, and I was like, oh my God, they actually traded Kenley to the Padres with Jarren Duran. I'm very, very curious to see what this package is, because if it's not that big, what are we doing? I'm just shocked. The White Sox were in on Lorenzen. Interesting. So I wonder if. What's up, Brady? They trade someone? No, the Padres traded with the White Sox for Dylan Cease. It's just a surprising trade that just so happened on here. Yeah, nothing. I'll be curious about the package, but the Red Sox stream that catches the other team's big moves. Yeah, I know. I know, Jake. Oh, brutal. I don't understand why they're trading him, because he's only $8 million a year. He's doing $8 million in arbitration. Padres might honestly be able to compete with LA if they get Snell back. I don't think they're in on Snell. I think this sort of rounds out their rotation. Got to switch your profile picture? I can't even see it. What is it? Is that Montgomery? Also, you think the Yankees now pivot off of Cease and push harder for Snell? It's not worth it for the Yankees to go for Snell, because if they sign him, they're going to – I mean, it's essentially because the luxury tax threshold, because they're pushed over – if they sign him, that'll push over another luxury tax threshold. It'd be like signing him for like $60 million a year. And I don't think they're going to be willing to do that. I would be shocked if they got I'd be shocked if they got Snell at this point. I really think Snell's market's down to the Angels and like one mystery team that's going to come out of nowhere. Yeah, Jake, I get on every week. I'm just patiently waiting. Oh, it's Massa. I can't even tell. It looks good though. Excuse me. Yeah, it's a good pickup for them. They now have Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, Dylan Cease, Michael King. I mean, their rotation looks good, man. What do you think will happen with Martin and Jansen? I think the only way Martin or Jansen gets traded at this point is if where 1 second, Kenneth. I think the only way Martin or Jansen gets traded at this point is if they do believe that they are going to get Jordan Montgomery. If that's who they are willing to finally shell out the money for, then yeah, I think they end up actually flipping one of them and just someone eating their salary. But I just don't think they get traded unless that happens. And again, we talked about it. I think it's like a 7% chance now. Fitz, like Richard Fitz, Kenneth. He's with the minor league club. I think he did one game, maybe one appearance with the Red Sox, and he's with the he's in minor league camp, which is essentially they just scrimmage against each other. Let me see. Ugh. No, yeah, he didn't pitch with the big league club this spring. I thought he got one appearance in, but no. Yeah, he's with the minor league squad. The Red Sox need to cut more salary. True. How is John Henry going to afford a yacht in the Dominican Republic, ladies and gentlemen? Unless they cut salary. Realistically, when do we see Meyer and Teal? I think we see Teal this year in some capacity. I don't think we see Meyer until 25. Glad Cease is going to San Diego instead of the Yankees? Yes, seriously. That is exactly how I feel, Keegan. I really, it really sucks that Cole is hurt. I loved every Yankee game against Cole was must watch TV for Red Sox Yankees. I don't know if it's gonna feel the same this year because the Red Sox where they are and the Yankees where they are. You know what I mean? Mike, David Hamilton in that picture looks like Rafael Devers with a mustache with how small it is. Who got hurt? The latest injury. All right, so we can do the latest injury news too, because I think this is going to be the biggest impact of the 2024 season, at least from the news we have right now. So the big one is that Lucas Giolito did get. Yeah, I did, Madden. We just talked about it. Um, The big one is that we did get news on Lucas Giolito's surgery. It's the same surgery Trevor Story got. So it most likely, at least right now, looks like we're at least going to get him in 2025, which is sort of the best case or the worst case scenario, right? Because the fear was that he was going to need full Tommy John, and then we wouldn't be able to see him until at least midway through 2025. Now there's a chance we're going to get him in 2025 for a full season, which is sort of best news. I just, I mean, we already talked about, I don't know how many more times we could talk about the impact of losing Lucas Giolito is, but realistically, it's the exact same as it was, right? It doesn't really change anything this year. With the surgery, we knew he was going to miss this year. So it doesn't really change anything. It's just a better of the worst case scenario. As for the other injury, it was Rob Refsnyder. Rob Refsnyder yesterday, I was either hit by a pitch or fouled a ball off his toe. I think it was hit by a pitch. 13 months. Is Clip the first one in 13 months? Thank you so much, Clip. Yankees going to throw $250 million at Blake Snell now. I really don't think the Yankees drop money on Snell because it just means it means that they're going to have so much money in taxes. What are my thoughts on Rafael Devers getting injured? Rafael Devers isn't injured. Let me see. Where are we? What was I just talking about? Oh, Rob Refsnyder, right? So Rob Refsnyder breaks his toe, fractures his toe. It's a small toe, which is good. What's up, Laser? It's a small toe, which is good because that means that it's not going to take as long to get him back. And with Rob, personally, I think it sucks because, this is his first year getting a big league extension and first year getting a true big league contract. And he was going to play a fairly important role with the Red Sox, right? He was going to be that sort of left-handed lefty killer, that right-handed lefty killer. Sometimes I get those mixed up. He was going to be that right-handed lefty killer. He was going to be a guy who could platoon first base and play the outfield, right? He was sort of in that middle role that the Red Sox are looking for. But you know what I mean? Like losing him isn't going to be the end of the season, right? I saw some people saying like, oh, this is, terrible. We just cancel the season now. I just, not the end of the world, but it does suck. And I hate the fact that Rob Refsnyder's out. He was a great personality. Yeah, Braden, we talked about it. The Padres trading Dylan Cease. Yeah. Yeah. Going to be pretty nuts. Snell's going to the Angels. Did I miss something? What's up, Taylor? Did I miss something? What the Rob Refsnyder injury does mean though is that Rob Refsnyder is that say Don Rafaela, right? He, in my opinion, he was already making a really good case to be on the opening day roster. Now it feels like he has a very good case to be on the opening day roster. So we'll see, and they had rumors about with Rob getting injured, them looking for another right-handed bat. Doesn't sound like they're uber confident in CJ Cron or Bobby Dahlbeck being that sort of right-handed power bat on the bench. I'm wondering if that's a scenario that they go to. Maybe Adam Duvall, a Tommy Pham. I don't know. We'll see. What's up, Taylor? Matt Carpenter's 2022 season with the Yankees? Yeah, that was miserable. You've been missing things for years, Eric. I'm not even gonna warrant that with a response. 12 months from Versatility. Speaking of memberships, Chad, if you like these live streams, you want more of them, we do a members only live stream once a month, and you get your own personal live stream. We also, if one of our members would like to showcase the new emotes, there they are, Versatility. We got some new emotes for the 2024 season, including a Tristan Casas emote, a run prevention unit emote, an Ace Bayo emote. We obviously have the Devers MVP, the story, K, the biceps, Masa dumbbells, the when we do our little ASMR stream so that the Red Sox score runs. We got a ton of emotes, so if that's something you're interested in, and on top of that, coming into this season, members are going to get early access to every single video. That's right, a full hour of just members only video before it goes live. You're going to have premier access to every single one of them. Or most of them, I think. Most of them. How much is it? It's going to be, so there's three levels. There's 99 cents gets you the emotes. $2.99 gets you the access to live streams and the early access to videos and the emotes. And then the third one is $5 a month. It gets you the extra, gets you the early access to videos, live stream once a month, emotes, and you get a preview of every single game. Casas' shoulder is fine. So just had to plug that right there. All right, back to questions here. CJ Cron get a roster spot? I don't know if they're too confident in him, to be honest with you. It doesn't sound like they are. How do you think Carlos Rodon will do this season? He looked good today, but man, he's looked rough this spring. We'll see. Again, some guys just turn it on. It's really hard, especially with these established veterans, to just be like, oh, they had a bad spring training, they're going to suck. You know what I mean? Because they're established veterans. It's so different once you get into the regular season. Each case is, I've said this before, where people are like, well, spring training stats don't matter at all. And to some degree, they don't, right? Obviously, you're not going to be in March or in May and being like, well, Cedar Rafael is off to a cold start, but you see what he did in spring training? No, you're not going to care, right? But with certain players, it does matter, because these players, these guys like Greg Weissert, Justin Slayton, all these sort of guys just end up being, they're fighting for roster spots. So their spring training stats, yeah, they do matter. Cedar Rafael is fighting for a roster spot, so it does matter. So I don't know. Upgrade membership. Adam upgraded to the box seats. Welcome to the box seats, my friend Adam. Thank you so much for upgrading your membership. We appreciate you. 13 months for Mr. Money Mike Madness. Everyone's re-upping their membership today. 13 months, over a year. Look at you. 2 questions. What are the chances that David Hamilton makes a 26-man roster? When's the next giveaway, FOCO or your merch? We'll probably do something for opening day, Mike. We'll probably do, something. I don't know if FOCO, 5 gifted memberships. I'm going to turn that off. From Versatility being the absolute man. Look at all these new members, huh? Just in time for our members only stream, which I think we're going to do next week, Chad. We're going to do our members only next week. Or actually, I'll talk to you guys about it after. But 5 gifted memberships. Can we get some claps in the chat? Versatility being so kind. Why did that not mute? Just cracked your phone? Sorry about that. Where's the John Henry surrender flag emoji? Eric, you'd wear that one out. Mr. Money Mike Madness now gifting 5 memberships. Look at that. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. 11 months for Dennis. Can we get some claps for that as well? Man, you guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. Going to be a fun year for the members, I think. Going to be a fun year. Had to fill the room. Well, I appreciate it, Versatility. What are my thoughts on our playing versus the Yankees today? I thought Nick Pivetta didn't look as sharp as I would have loved him to look. Greg Weissert looks incredible. Absolutely incredible. And then, I mean, our offense looks great. Say Don Rafaela, Tristan Casas, that home run he hit was a absolute moonshot. That thing flat out sounded like a gunshot off the bat. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, there's not really a ton to take outside of that. I would say, yeah, say Don Rafaela, Tristan Casas, Greg Weisert, and Nick Pivetta not looking as sharp as I would hoped he would. Dahlbeck or Casas, why? I mean, it's extremely easy answer there. Lodge. Is that Lodge or Dodge? Lodge. It's extremely easy. It's Tristan Casas. It's the power of Bobby Dahlbeck with better plate better plate discipline, better swing decisions, and more contact. It's what Bobby Dahlbeck should have been, right? It's going to be really interesting who they're going to take for pitchers and where. Yeah, it really is. I mean, the battle of the bullpen is going to be so interesting. Hey, what'd you miss? Padres traded for Dylan Cease. What's up, QB? Thoughts on Ohtani in LA? I mean, he's going to become an absolute global icon in LA. They get so much press over. I mean, he's going to be the most famous athlete in the world at some point. No, versatility. No, I'm working on it. I don't know if she's watching, so I don't want to say anything, Chad. But I have a plan. Versatility. I have a plan. I don't think she is, but I have a plan. We're getting there. Just got to keep grinding. If we still had 2021 Bobby Dahlbeck, how do you think this team would look? It's a great question. If Bob kept up that efficiency for his entire last couple of years, I don't know where we're at, man. Probably with a really good pitcher. Like realistically, right? I think I think you have Bobby Dahlbeck and Tristan Casas, and if Bob's performing the way he performed in 21 for the last 2 years and going into 2024, you got what you got from Tristan. I could send a link, Taylor. That's a good point, Joey. I might have to do that. Versatility, $50 super chat. I mean, what are we doing, Versatility? You make me so nervous, man. I truly, I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys, but that was super nice of you, Versatility. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I'm getting there. I've got to, I'll tell you, pay my bills. Yeah, you're helping me. Can we get some claps to the chat, please? Or like the donation? Yeah, one of the two. Help them out. You mean, 5 gifted subs and a $50 super chat, and we are 30 minutes into a live stream. So versatility is the best. Can we get some claps in the chat, please? I get a good ring? Okay. I want to be versatility. I want to be versatility too. I want to be versatility too. Taylor, I'll put the link in there. It should be coming up every once in a while. Seats to the Padres. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, one more time. Claps to the chat for versatility. Just an absolute legend. I appreciate him a lot. I appreciate all you guys, but that was really nice. Yes, sir, unknown. Ruse, maybe. Casas or Devers, and why? I'm taking Devers because he's a more proven commodity right now. I think Casas could get up to Devers level, at least offensively. And then if he has league average defense, probably a bit more valuable. But right now it's Devers, and it's not really a conversation because Devers has he's the results to back it up more than Tristan Casas does. And that's not entirely Casas' fault because he's just not been in the league for that long, but do it on stream. I can't do it on stream, man. I think she'd kill me. Devers is probably your pick for my pick for MVP. I think Devers is like a lot. Sorry, Chad. I messed up my back, so I got this thing behind it. So how do you think the team? Oh, right. Sorry, Braji. If you have 2021 Bobby Dahlbeck, right, doing what Bobby Dahlbeck did, if you had that through 22 and 23, and then you had what Casas did in 23, the Red Sox are able to make a decision, right? They're able to say, okay, which one of these players do we believe in more going forward in the future? Is it what Tristan Casas gave us in 23 or what Bobby Dahlbeck gave us from 21 and 22? 7 years, Ruse. 10K live stream. I don't think, I think she'd kill me. But either way, you got those two guys, right? And you can't have both of them play first base. And then you got Rafael Devers, who is obviously going to be a third baseman no matter what. So now you got options because you got Bob under control for a little bit. You got Tristan Casas under control for a little bit. You can trade one of those guys. You don't really want to make them a backup because they're too valuable to be backups. So I think you end up with a really good pitcher, whichever one that ends up being, if they want to go more power and more strikeouts with Bob, or do they want to go with more contact, less home runs, and better defense with Tristan Casas. Propose outside the door frame. pretend I'm not live. Yeah. Thank you, Jackson. Yeah, we'll get there. I'll tell you. I can't. I can't tell you my full plans. Email me, redsearadio@gmail.com. What will Casas be at the end of the year? I think what Casas will be at the end of the year is a cemented pillar of the Red Sox offense. I said he gets some home run votes, MVP votes. I don't think he ends up like top 10 or anything, but maybe like a top 13, top 14. And I think he truly cements himself as one of the better hitters from the left-hand side in Major League Baseball, a top 50 player in the league. I think he's an all-star. I have a lot of expectations for what Tristan Casas could be. I did get your email versatility, yeah. She does sometimes, Jackson, which is why I'm trying not to say anything. I'll do it with the home opener on the Jumbotron. That would be really interesting. But yeah, still no details on what the trade's going to be, which is interesting. There's no information on who's going and who's leaving. That's a really great point, versatility. I don't know. I have no idea. That's a great question. No clue. With the C situation, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the actual trade is, because if that trade looks pretty decent, I got to assume they give him a lot. I got to assume, right? It just sounds like it. Yeah, cease the Padres. Yeah, we were just talking about it. I'm trying to figure out what the actual trade looks like. I don't think I've got any information yet. Yeah, it doesn't look like we got any information yet. Needs to be on stream. You guys will walk me through it. Yeah, it seems pretty simple, Mike, but you would be surprised. There's a lot that goes into it, apparently. Cease the Padres. Yes, we were just talking about it. I'm trying to figure out what the actual trade is. No, there's no way the Padres got, or the. Oh, I was like, Bucky, I think you've been here for a while. You've been there, done that? Yeah. I'm like, it's not happening within the next few months, but I'm already nervous. Is there a priest in this live? Yeah, I'll get married and do it on live stream. With Cole down 1 to 2 months, do the Yankees pivot to Snell or Monty? The interesting thing about the Yankees is that they were never really interested in Jordan Montgomery, and I think it's because they've already seen it. They've already sort of, they think they know where it's going to be on their team in terms of production. They were always interested in Blake Snell. The problem with Blake Snell is that you take him in, right? And you hit the last luxury tax threshold, which is another, I believe it's like $30 million. So you're really paying him $60 million a year. So I don't know. I don't know that they pivot. I wonder, my guess is they pivoted to try and get Dylan Cease, which is interesting to me because they clearly, in my opinion, shows that they don't really believe that they should be spending big money on a starter. It doesn't really seem like the Yankees are interested in paying that. Like, I think it's either 60 or 80 million a year for Blake Snell with the tax fees incurred. So if I'm the Yankees, I'm not doing that either, right? Blake Snell won a Cy Young last year. He has a ton of great things about him, but he's also been historically very roller coastery when it comes to his statistics. It's not a sure thing that you're going to get that unbelievable season he had last year. There's the exact math. Yeah, $85 million a year if they were to get Blake Snell on a 2 or 3 year deal. So I don't know. Live stream the wedding. If I'm at like 20,000 subscribers and this is my full-time job, I think I would seriously consider it. Tattoo, Eric, you're never going to let me forget it. You're never going to let me forget it. The tattoo will become more of a reality in, what are we at? 285 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and watch me get a tattoo. Will Brian Bayo be our ace at the end of the regular season? Log, you're asking some good questions, my friend. Do I think he'll be the ace? I've talked about this before. Ace is a tough word to put on someone, right? The Red Sox don't need an ace. They need a number one. You need someone who maybe isn't going to beat head-to-head. What's up, Wes? Head-to-head these other aces in baseball, right? We don't need Brian Bayo to put up the same numbers as Garrett Cole. You need him to be able to get into a game against Garrett Cole and give your team a chance to win, right? And so for me, I don't know if Brian Bayo needs to be an ace for him to be successful. I think he needs to be a number one or a number two or see a very legitimate step up. So I'm going to say no, he's not going to be an ace, but that doesn't mean he's not going to have a really good season. Snell has 2 Cy Youngs with 6 years without a single vote in between. Yeah, that's a crazy statistic. No Snell and Boston had to be in there somewhere. Getting one Saturday, I'm nervous about a tattoo, man. Cole is injured? Yeah, Cole is injured. Where are you in Massachusetts? I'm south of Boston. What's going on with Mata? Mata had a hamstring injury. He's building back up a little bit. What's interesting to me about Brian Mata is when they were talking in the Dominican Republic to Eddie Romero on the Nesson stream, they actually brought up Brian Mata, or Eddie did, as someone that they still believe has a lot of ability and someone they want to see what he can do at the major league level. So my original thought was, okay, they're probably going to DFA this guy, right? If they're not going to, if they haven't brought him up yet, and he's dealt with all these injuries and he's dealt with all these sort of, I think there was some off-field issues, at least in terms of like work habit and effort and stuff like that. And then you add in the walks and stuff. Even though he's 25 and can throw close to 100 miles an hour, I thought maybe they weren't going to take a chance on him. But because of the fact that they are saying these things on live air on Nesson, it makes me wonder, right? Is there a possibility that Brian Mata gets healthy? I would guess probably around the same time Grissom, right? Midway through the season, midway through April, build him back up. Is there a path for him to come up to the major leagues and option someone else like a Greg Weiser, like a Justin Slayton, maybe a Hagenman, right? To start the year and just to see what he's got. Give him 2 weeks, and then if you can't do anything, see ya. That would be my guess. Not everybody realizes that a number one and an ace are different things. Yeah, right now you need a number one. We need him to have 180 innings. That's what we need. Yeah, Bayo, unfortunately, right? And the Red Sox put him in this position, really needs to have it at least. He had 157 innings last year. He needs to have at least 170 this year. I think that's bare minimum. You know, because now you've got the rest of your rotation having to make up for Lucas Giolito. So you need to have Brian Bayo would have to take at least, I would say 180 is probably what you'd want him to hit, which would be 30 more innings than he had last year. Then you need Nick Pivetta, who had, I think it was 140 innings last year. Yeah, 142 innings. So do what he did in 22, which is 179 innings, which would be about 180. That's another 40 innings right there. That gives you 70 more innings than he had last year. Cutter is going to need to go from, he had 129 innings pitched. I would say 150 would probably be where I would be okay with, right? Because that means he had 31 starts, an extra 2/3 innings per start. That puts him at like a 5 2/3 inning, right? Or I'm sorry, he started 23 games. So you get what I'm saying, right? You start him, you have him pitch like 27 outings, 5 2/3 each time out. That's probably that's about 150 innings. That gives you another 20. So now you're up to 100 innings made up. Tanner Houck, you're going to need a lot more innings from, because I think Tanner Houck only was able to give you 120-ish. He gave you 106, right? Part of that was because of injury. So it's tough to figure out what he can actually do. But he was averaging 106 divided by 21 starts. So he was averaging about 5 innings a game. If you could get him up to 5 2/3, again, that's probably about 150 innings, right? Spaced out over the course of an entire season, it's probably about 150. So there's another, we'll say 40. So now you're at 140 innings made up, right? And then whoever's in, I said Winkowski's the guy who's going to end up in that last spot in the rotation. When he was with the Red Sox, he only made 14 starts. He had 70 innings as a starter. I don't know if that's even going to be a lot of innings. That seems like, yeah, so that's 5 innings. So you keep doing that. You stretch that out. You do 5 innings. We'll say Wink makes 30 starts. That's 150. That's a huge boost as well. My problem with this is that's asking a lot of these guys, right? When you look back at this, you have, I'll answer this in a second. $5 super chat from Taylor Coates. His first super chat. Can we get some likes on that super chat, please? Thank you so much, Taylor. He says, random, but my buddy and I have $500 on who will win their next World Series first. Mariners or Sox? Who wins, you think? Ooh, this is a tough question. First of all, thank you so much for your donation. Get to claps in chat for him. This is a tough question, Taylor. Who do you have money on? I assume you have money on the Red Sox. You're in a Red Sox stream. I think Mariners, the problem is right now Mariners are closer. They have that rotation. They've got Julio. They've got some solid pieces in their lineup as well. But my thing is, if they don't win this year and they allow the Red Sox 1 to 2 seasons to bolster their rotation, get the development from the young players, and get these prospects up, I think the Red Sox have a faster trajectory to being really good than the Mariners do if they don't win this year. If the Mariners, that's my thing. That's what I think. I think if the Mariners don't win this year, I think it's the Red Sox. If the Mariners do win this year, obviously you lose. Do you think Crawford surprises us this year and gives us a solid 2? I don't think Cutter Crawford develops into a number 2. That would be incredible if he did. I think he so bad he shouldn't be in the starting rotation in the majors. Terrible. He's even more terrible. He's our number 3. Jeffrey, you have no idea what you're talking about, do you? I mean, genuinely, that's not even to be mean, Jeffrey, but what have you looked at that tells you Cutter Crawford is so bad he shouldn't be on a starting rotation in the majors? I'm genuinely curious, because every statistic you look at, if Cutter Crawford was on any other team, This would be a guy that we are pining the Red Sox to trade for. So I'm just genuinely curious here, Jeffrey. What statistic are you looking at that tells you Cutter Crawford is so bad he shouldn't be in the major leagues? Yes? Yes, what? Yes, what, Jeffrey? What is, I mean, genuinely, what is this statistic or what is your reasoning behind deciding that Cutter Crawford is so bad he shouldn't be on a Major League Baseball team? I agree with you, versatility. Crawford should definitely be your number 4 pitcher. Definitely. He was lined up to be your number 4 pitcher, right? Now you need to be, now he needs to be, I would say, a 3 for him to be. Do I watch him pitch? I watch every single game. Every single game. And he looked pretty damn good. He had one really bad outing against the Houston Astros. And if that's the singular outing you're talking about that determines whether or not he should be on a major league team, give me, I just want one statistic. That's all I want. I just want one statistic you can point to. Because I'm open into the reasoning here, Jeffrey. I would love to hear just the reasoning. Cease to San Diego, I'm happy. Yeah, as long as he's not on the Yankees. I was so nervous they were going to do something crazy. Yeah, Cutter Crawford's fastball is... So, Jeffrey, you've completely pivoted to Cutter is our number 4. It's going to be a long season. Yeah, again, Jeffrey, I would love for you to back this up just a little bit. Just back it up. That's all I want. Because you look at every city. Let's have some fun, chat. Let's do this. Let's go Cutter Crawford. All right, so here we go. Cutter Crawford last year had a 4.04 ERA. Oh no, right? Oh no. However, a 4.04 ERA was also 13% better than the average pitcher in Major League Baseball. He was 13% more productive than the average pitcher in Major League Baseball. In my opinion, that's probably someone you want to keep in the major leagues. What's up, Pac-Man? He had a 383 FIP. You know what that means? That means that on the mound, he was slightly less lucky than he should have been. That means that he was pitching better than his ERA stance. In fact, most people, thank you so much for subscribing, Ethan. Most people on the major league team in the Red Sox organization had a lower FIP in this rotation because the defense was so bad. He had a 1.106 whip, which is well below league average. It's also meaning that every inning he pitches, he's allowing just 1.1 walks or hits per innings pitched. He was striking out 9.4 batters per 9 innings. That's 1 batter an inning. He was also only walking 2.5 batters per 9 innings. That's a really great ratio. That means for every time he's striking someone out, every time he's walking someone, he's striking out 3 people. A little bit more. That's a pretty good statistic there. He's striking out. In fact, he's striking out exactly 3.75 people for every time he walks somebody. Then we could dive a little bit deeper here, Jeffrey, into Cutter Crawford statistics as you continue to slander him, even though you give no statistics to back that up. His fastball last year, considering stuff plus, which is you take every single pitch this guy throws, every single fastball he throws, it gives it a positive or negative value, right? If he throws a fastball that gets lit up, well, that's a little bit negative. He throws a fastball at the top of the zone, this guy swings and miss, well, that's a positive. The Cutter Crawford had one of the highest rated fastballs in the entire sport, according to Stuff Plus. You know what category that put him in? That put him in the same category as Garrett Cole, Shohei Ohtani, and Zach Gallen. But those guys clearly, if they are in the same category as Cutter Crawford in anything, must not be viable major league pitchers. I'm so sorry, Prodigy. I got on a rant. Prodigy, $5 super chat. Can we get some claps to the chat for Prodigy, please? And thank you so much, Prodigy. I'm so sorry. I got wrapped up. Could you see us making a lot of trades during the deadline? Would you say 2016 Porcello was the worst Cy Young winner? Remember Mitch Moreland pitching a game. First question, see us making a lot of moves at the deadline? Yeah. I don't know which way it's going to go, whether they're selling or they're buying. I think if the Red Sox are in at the deadline. We're going to see a much more aggressive deadline than we've seen with Heim Bloom. If they're out, I think we'll see a much more aggressive deadline than we saw with Heim Bloom. I think Breslow's not going to be afraid to flip some pieces if he needs to, one way or the other. Would you say 2016 Porcello was the worst Cy Young winner? I haven't dove in deep, honestly, into past Cy Young winners, but I can't imagine Rick Porcello is the worst one to ever win one. He might be in there. So his Cy Young season, he had a 3.15 ERA, which is, I mean, it's fine, right? At 340 FIP, so not terrible. 142 ERA plus. He was leading the league in strikeouts per win, which is good. Strikeouts to walk ratio, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is a tough one. He won 22 games, but I think that had a lot more to do with the team around him. I would assume it's probably top 10, Prodigy. But again, I apologize for missing it. Corbin, when do I think Marcelo Meyer gets called up? I think we see Marcelo Meyer is called up in 2025. Let's start a betting pool when Corbin pops the question. My bet is Christmas 2024. Honestly, I hope Crone can make the club. I just want to see what he could do with the monster. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. They don't seem to have a ton of faith in him. Cutter Crawford was 6-8. You're relying on wins to determine the worth of a pitcher. I mean, Jeffrey. Look, I understand that when pitchers win a lot, it's a significant value. But claiming that a pitcher isn't good because he went 6-8 is a tough one to do, right? Because you could throw 8 innings of 1-run ball and you could lose 1-0, right? So you did your job, no one else did, and you're saddled with a loss. And that's the problem with the winning-loss ratio. A 4.08 ERA was 13% better than the average pitcher in Major League Baseball, so it was an above-average ERA, Jeffrey. And in all honesty, a 4.08 ERA coming from your 4 or 5 spot pitcher is a really good ERA to have. Verlander was pissed about it. I would have been mad about it. I honestly, Meyer's 21, bro. Yeah, he is 21, but he hasn't had a fully healthy season yet, J-Mac, and that's the problem, right? I think the Red Sox fear, and my personal fear with Marcelo Meyer, is you call him up and he gets injured immediately, and then you lose him for a while because he's going too hard or he doesn't want to admit he has an injury. You know, there's a lot of things there, and you do have some time. You've got Story at shortstop. You've got Vaughn Grissom and Manuel Valdez, Pablo Reyes, David Hamilton, Nick York, who can all at some point at least potentially produce at second base. So you don't have a hole necessarily in one of those positions that you need Marcelo Meyer to fill at some point, right? So they have time. And that's why I think they're going to wait and see. When do the Yankees come to Fenway? I don't know when the Yankees come to Fenway. Do I think a playoff team is a better number 4? Well, let's take a look at. All right, Jeffrey. No, stay around for a second, Jeffrey. Let's take a look at this. Rick Porcello was your number 4 pitcher. I would say number 5 pitcher on the 2018 Red Sox. He had a 4.28 ERA. Let's play 2013. Brian Dempster, Felix Dubron, your number 3, your number 4, and your number 5 pitcher, 4.57 and 4.32. Drew Thorpe is going to the White Sox. Oh my God. No way. Do the 04 team? The 04 team is probably a juggernaut. They had some really good pitchers. Nope. Never mind. Tim Wakefield, 4.87. Derek Lowe, 5.42. Bronson Arroyo, 4.03. So 3 out of your 5 pitchers had a above 4 ERA, and then Pedro Martinez had a 3.9. I don't know, man. Where do you guys find your crystal ball? How do you guys, you got guys, you're all figured out before the season starts? Amazes me. Thorpe is going to the White Sox. Let me see. I want to see this full trade. That's nuts. Sean Sue, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you. I don't know why it didn't come up in the chat. Lupo, thank you. Oh, I think what we're doing right now is everyone is resubbing. So we're gonna turn that off for a second. I appreciate all of you. Wow, they're getting number 5 prospect Drew Thorpe and number 8 prospect Jario Iarte. Signed Euclid jersey for $45. Man, that's really good. That's a good trade. That would be the equivalent of us giving Drew Thorpe and is Iarte. My question is, are both those guys top 100 players? I know Thorpe definitely is. He's 85. Iarte is not. I don't even know, what would that be for the Red Sox? Like, what would the equivalent of that be? Our number 5, I mean, on paper, our number 5 and 8 prospect is, I think it's Cedon, isn't it? Well, they have their new top 30 by team, so let's take a look. That'd be equivalent of us giving them Miguel Blaze and Nick York. That would have been, if that happened, that would have been nuts. And there's more to it, too. We don't even know who else is on there. That's crazy. You do that? Miguel Blaze and Nick York for, I mean, I probably would, but for 2 years of Dylan Cease, I don't know. No, it definitely isn't just those two. There's definitely more coming. I would guess another top 25 prospect. Would I give up Miguel? I'd give up Miguel for a very good, controllable starter. Like, I would give Miguel up for a Mariners starter. I would give Miguel up for a... Laser, I missed your super chat. No, man, I don't think it came through. Unfortunately, I don't think it came through. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't have anything on my end. Yes, I would give up York. Who's the San Diego Padres 10 through 15? Let's find out, shall we? 10 through 15 are Adam Mazer, Graham Pauley, Jacob Marcy, Ryan Berger, and Homer Bush Jr. and Randy Vasquez. Nothing crazy. I still believe that, Wade. I think Miguel Blaze is one of the most talented, like pure raw talent players in the Red Sox organization. In terms of prospects, I truly think if he reaches his potential, you're talking about Julio Rodriguez. The question is, can you get to that potential? I don't know if you can. It's kind of annoying that he talk you off the edge of Whitlock being in the rotation. Yeah, I could tell you that he probably won't be in the rotation. At least I don't think so. I would be shocked if Whitlock ended up in the rotation because with his previous health issues, he has very little swing and miss. This spring training, which is, in my opinion, what they're going to be looking at the most. Because right now he's stretching himself out. He's stretching himself out to be a starter, so he's throwing starter stuff. And again, this is spring training a bit, right? But he's striking out in spring training. At least he's striking out less people than he did even last year. He's not walking anybody, but he's getting hit pretty hard. I don't think they have like whiff rate or anything for him right now. Yeah, they don't. But yeah, it's not going to be, he's not really super impressive this offseason or this season. He's given up more line drives, way less ground balls, and a lot more fly balls. In spring training, again, it's just spring training, but it's just spring training. But at the same time, right, you're going to have to, this is how you figure it out. You figure out what they look like this spring And you got right now you've got his normal line drive average is 19.1% of the time. 19.1% of hitters who hit the ball off of Garrett Whitlock are hitting it on a line drive. This spring it's 25%. Ground balls are normally 40 plus percentage points for Garrett Whitlock. It's down to 24.2%. And fly balls are normally in that 35-ish range percent. This time it's up to 51.5%. Like, that's a huge percentage. So, my super chat was supposed to be the controversial King, Felix Cy Young. Yeah, I didn't see it, but we could take a look at it if you want. Lou had a good point that Houck hasn't been starting games. He's been coming in the fourth inning, etc. When it's all AA players, so more likely bullpen, but had to say. Yeah, that's interesting. Versatility. My only thing with Houck is he's been, and yes, he has been playing more AA people, but I wonder if that's because they want him working on something. Like, is there something specific he's been working on? I mean, dude, he's been nutty this spring. His strikeout rate's way up in terms of percentages. It's up about 9% from what it was last year. His walk rate is cut in half from what it was last year. His strikeout to walk ratio is much better than it was last year, at least in spring training so far. You know, obviously stuff can happen. He's given up more. He's getting more ground balls. I don't know. Do you know how many years Jordan Montgomery's asking for? The last we heard in terms of years was 7. I don't think he's at 7 anymore. I really don't, because if he was at 7, he's just not getting a deal. He's just not. Then you got Jameson. I honestly think Jordan Montgomery ends up with the Cubs. They're already going for it. Curious, outside of Boston, anyone hearing other teams linked to Montgomery? Yeah, I think the Cubs, there's a lot of cry for the Cubs. Rangers still think that they can do Montgomery. I still think the Rangers are the sort of the favorite right now. Cardinals are an interesting one that come up a bit. Do I see Durant's stats declining a little bit? I could see Durant. Yeah, I do. I see Durant's. I mean, you got to think about it. Jarren Duran had a 120 WRC plus last year, right? And that's the first time he's done that in Major League Baseball. I don't think it's a 120 OPS plus. No. I think it ends up being more like a 110, 115-ish OPS or WRC plus, and that allows him to and I think realistically is it's going to be about the same average, 290, 280-ish, right? But a little bit less power. He had a ton of doubles. I don't know if he gets as many doubles this year. I think he's going to be a little bit more cautious. We'll see. I hope he continues. I still think he leads the team in doubles, but I don't think, I mean, he was on pace for what? He was on pace for 54 doubles. I don't know if that's going to be happening, but I could see like 45. So the slug will go down a little bit. So I think he ends up right around that 110, 115 mark. How long is Von Grissom going to be out? Right now it looks like only a week or two. It looks like only a week or two, but we'll see. I don't think we'll really know how long Grissom's out until closer to the season. In my opinion, Migo, it'll probably be, I would guess, like April 17th, 18th, he makes an appearance. Like, he makes his first appearance. Because you got to remember, even once he's healthy, he still has to get ready for the season. So my guess is that he's technically ready to go opening day, but they're going to give him, a couple weeks in the minor leagues to sort of get on his feet before they bring him back up. Texas have it figured out for the year? Yeah. Yeah, I talked to Robbie about it. I understand. Like I said in my video, right? I understand the reasoning for 75-ish wins, right? I get it. And it a lot of it has to do with, hey, look, not everything's going to go right? Because that's what the Red Sox, if they're going to be successful this year, basically everything's going to need to go right. Maybe not everything in the lineup, but everything in the rotation is going to have to go right. But I think, and I talked to Robbie about this a little bit, and he does agree with me. We just don't know. That's the problem, right? The problem is right now, we don't know. Under/over is 77.5. We don't know what this rotation is going to look like. You can make the assumption, that it's going to be bad, or you can make the assumption that it's going to be good, right? You can make those assumptions, but we don't know because everyone in this rotation is an unproven quantity. They are, right? Bayo only has 1 full year under his belt. Cutter only has 1 full year under his belt. Houck doesn't have a full year yet. He got hurt last year. He was supposed to be 1 year. Whoever's in the 5th spot won't have any real experience. Pavetta's kind of your only known quantity, but even you don't know what you're going to get from Pavetta. And then you don't know what the effects of Bailey, Willard, and Breslow are sort of heading this new 3-headed monster of pitching in the rotation. Right? We just don't know. So you could say, oh, there are too many ifs. You could say, oh, this team is just not talented enough to get enough wins, but you just don't know, right? Because hypothetically, if they all do legitimately take steps up, or even 4 out of the 5 of them take steps up, and then Whitlock, say your 1 through 4 make legitimate improvements. Bayo becomes a really solid number 2. You still don't have a number 1. Pavetta really takes a step up and sort of gets out of that, hey, he's going to be a 5th man his entire life, to, okay, this could be a number 3 or number 4. Cutter becomes a number 3 or number 4. Houck becomes your solid number 5. And then you're just sort of missing one rotational spot that's not 75 wins, right? That, with the offense and that alone, you're probably looking at close to breaking even or slightly above even at 83, 82 wins, right? Which is why I optimistically said 84. Right? But so I get it. I get that you're saying, well, Corbin, there are too many ifs. There are, right? But as Red Sox fans, I feel like we're kind of conditioned to assume those ifs go wrong. What if they don't? What if they don't? Or what if a majority of them go right? The only issue I have right now is you just don't know. It's just a flat out mystery. And you flat out don't have depth, right? If Brian Bayo goes down, your whole season's screwed. It really is. Because who's going to replace him? Cooper Criswell? Garrett Whitlock? Josh Winkowski? You know what I mean? And that's for most teams. You don't see a chance of us getting above 500, though? See, that's where I think you're wrong, right? There's a difference between saying, I think this team's going to have 75 and saying there's absolutely no chance they get above 500 because they have virtually the same offense. Yes, they lost Turner and Duvall, but realistically, I mean, everyone acts like Duvall was such a massive aspect of this team last year. He was fine. He was a good player, but he was hurt for most of the year, so you didn't even have him in your lineup, and you were still in consideration for a wild card spot without him in your lineup, right? And he was really hot for like 2 weeks. He was good. He had a 119 OPS plus, but he only played 92 games. Right? And I also don't think it's highly unlikely, to be honest with you, Chance, or versatility, because you look at it and you say, okay, again, you look at all the ifs. If 90% of the ifs go right, that's an above 500 baseball team. It is. It really is. But he would have been good if he was healthy. To me, that doesn't matter because that's saying King, that's saying, oh, what could have been, right? But this is what happened. He just wasn't healthy. If he was healthy and he put up a 119 OPS plus in 140 games, then yeah, that's a much different conversation in terms of what you lost. But I think this offense could make up 119 OPS plus over 92 games. Hell, I think Story could do it alone. So that's my issue right there, is people are saying that Duvall and Turner leaving is insurmountable. It's not. What's up, George? Oh, really, Prodigy? Yeah, he said he was doing that the other day. Comeback year for Trevor Story. I agree with that. I think there will be. I don't, to be totally honest with you guys, I think a lot of people aren't giving this team credit because of how the offseason went. Right? They're equating the fact that the Red Sox ownership and front office neglected to get the players that they needed to get in order for us to believe that this team could be successful. And I think that's a much different conversation than what the actual roster looks like. Now, the bullpen's going to be better. The defense is going to be better. The offense is going to be about the same. Right there, you look at, okay, that alone could match your 78 wins, in my opinion, right? If everything goes well in those three categories, and the Red Sox pitching is about what it was last year, which was a bottom 10 pitching in Major League Baseball, that's a 78-win team. Now, what if instead of a bottom 10, they're a bottom 13? How many more wins is that? 2 or 3? Well, now you're over a 500 team. Steve Wilson's the other prospect going to the White Sox. Interesting. I don't even know who that is. Is Rafael in the starting lineup this year? I hope he is. I think our offense separate the team from the ownership. Our team is good. Our ownership sucks. Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't even know if this team is good. I think they are average with the ceiling of being good. Unless the Rays blow it up, this is a last place team. I don't think the Sox are awful. I'm not sitting here debating places. Because there's a case to be made that the Red Sox win 84 games and end up in last place, right? There's a legitimate case to be made for that. The Rays somehow win 90-plus games a year. The Orioles are a juggernaut right now. They added a top 5 player in the Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays have one of the best rotations in the AL with Jose Barrios and Kevin Gausman, Yusei Kikuchi. Right, and obviously they always have Vlad and Bo Bichette and George Springer. But I mean, I'm not looking at this saying this is a playoff contending team. I'm just saying if this team is better than 500, don't be surprised, because they do have that ability to do that. And then once you're above 500, who knows, right? I'm not writing off this team in terms of playoffs or anything in March. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. And Samuel Zavala, man, White Sox rightfully got a haul, but didn't make any effort solidifying this rotation, pretty much killed a realistic chance in the AL East. That's a problem, right? It's 0-0 right now. It's 0-0 right now. I can't sit here and say that it's insurmountable for the Red Sox to do anything in the AL East. I can't do it. It is March. I can't do it. Because you look at the other teams in the AL East. So the only one I have a hard time picking apart is the Orioles. Right? Because The only thing that could really sink the Orioles is if Corbin Burns goes down. If Corbin Burns goes down, they might have an issue because Kyle Gibson's already out for a while. Is that his name? Yeah, Kyle Gibson's already out for a while. John Means is having a little bit of an issue coming back. Right? If Corbin Burns goes down, their rotation's screwed. All of a sudden, they've got to start winning games 9-10, 10-11, right? So the Orioles are a tough one to debate, but you look at the Rays, right? In this offseason, they not only lost Wander Franco forever, they lost Tyler Glasnow, they lost Shane McClanahan, they lost Manuel Margot, who granted wasn't exactly a crazy player, but did have some big moments for the Rays there. That could fall apart really quickly. How long can the Rays go on continuously pulling these guys out of their ass before at least something goes wrong, right? The Blue Jays, we already talked about it. They have Bo Bichette, they have George Springer, and they have Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and they have Justin Turner. But is Justin Turner going to be able to repeat last year at 36, 37 years old? I don't know, right? Is the rest of the Blue Jays lineup going to be able to do it? Do they really have that deep of a lineup? Last year they thought they did. Then Kirk sucked. Varsho sucked. Belt was terrible. You didn't get anything from second base. Their bullpens, outside of Jordan Romano's, mediocre, right? They added, I think, that guy from Cuba. But it's not like they're a superstar team that the Red Sox, if everything goes right, can't pass. That doesn't sound right. Then you look at the Yankees, who felt insurmountable because they did so many great things this offseason. But Carlos Rodon is having struggles in spring training. Looked fine today, but he's having struggles once again. You don't know what you're going to get from Marcus Stroman in a big market, especially in New York, as one of those guys who sort of almost takes pride in being able to absorb the strength of the city. And the city in New York is one of the most brutal sports cities in the entire country. Garrett Cole goes down. Nestor Cortez has looked terrible too. What does that rotation look like? Then you look at their lineup, right? Doogie fell apart in the second half. Totally dropped everything the second half. He's on a contract year, so maybe that doesn't happen, but who knows, right? You don't know. Stanton still doesn't look good. Rizzo looks good. Judge looks good, but he's already having health issues. Soto looks fantastic. Soto's going to be a problem all year. Their bullpen isn't insane, right? They just traded away Michael King and a couple other guys. Greg Weiser's now on the Red Sox, and look what we were able to do to him. Right? You sit there and you say, "Wow, the AL East is the fearsome four. We're never going to get past them." Right? It's like the Sinister Six in Spider-Man. It's like, well, how is Spider-Man going to get past this guy? But then you break it down a little bit and you just look at them one by one. And it's not like these teams are the best teams in Major League Baseball. It's not like you've got the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, or the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Braves, and the Phillies all in one division. You're sitting there like, whoa, wait a second here. I think there's a difference between the overall just straight up shooting themselves in the foot off season the Red Sox had and what this team in an actual division looks like. Right? I think there's a big difference between what they were supposed to do, what they did do, and then what the rest of the division looks like. And again, right? There are 162 games. You look back at the Orioles, right? They seem impenetrable. Corbin Burns goes down. Adley Rutschman goes down. I'm not saying they're perfect, but the Sox are way more flawed than those other teams. They could be, right? And again, we just don't know. Without adding anything, Eric, I have fully admitted that this rotation on paper doesn't look as good, right? We've been admitting it this whole offseason. I don't know. Do you want me to go through all the videos where I poo-pooed the Red Sox? Do you want me to do that or no? Because every single video we've talked about this offseason, I have mentioned how poorly this front office has done. I've done it this whole offseason. We've done it the whole time. So yes, I know, I understand what happened this offseason. I'm no longer talking about the offseason. I'm looking at the roster put in front of us. And you say they added nothing. They didn't add anything. The rotation, sure, fine. But they also added Andrew Bailey, Justin Willard, and Craig Breslow. right? Sometimes it's not about the actual addition of a player. It's about the addition and the change in philosophy of the organization. And again, maybe it's not. Maybe it is about the player at the end of the day. We just don't know. That's my whole point here. There is no concrete evidence that we can point to that says the Red Sox are going to be terrible or the Red Sox are going to be fantastic. Because it all depends. It all depends on what these guys look like. And again, we have nothing to base that off of. Nothing. Nothing, right? Because you look at it and you say, okay, Brian Bayo gave you a 4.2 last year. That was his first season in Major League Baseball. That was the most innings he's ever pitched. Nick Pivetta gave you a 4 something, right? But he also at the end of the year completely changed his slider and ended up with a 1.3 or a 2.3, whatever the fuck it was. Excuse me. Sorry, I don't normally do that. Cutter Crawford. Right? He ends up with a 4, whatever. We just went over it. 13% better than the average pitcher in Major League Baseball. Okay? What does he look like fully stretched out? I don't know. Do you? Unless you have a crystal ball, I have no idea what this is going to look like. I have no clue. And so to see everyone just give up on the team without them playing a single game frustrates me. Because it just makes no sense. They haven't done anything. They haven't done anything. The front office and the ownership have done stuff. They've done a lot of stuff. And it's all been really crappy stuff. But what has the team done? 0 and 0. 0 and 0. So I don't know. I think people, because of the way the offseason has gone, have already given up on the Red Sox. And again, I'm not sitting here telling you need to be pumped about the season. No. Look, I'm not sitting here telling you need to be excited about this season. I'm not sitting here telling you that the Red Sox are going to be good. I totally understand the mindset that people are in where they are saying, they didn't do enough this offseason. And they're going to suck. And the AL East is just too good. My whole point here in this argument is that I just don't know. And so it's hard for me to sit here and look at you guys in the face and tell you this is a 75-win team. Right? Is it more than likely that they are going to miss the playoffs? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? There's probably already, a 15% chance they make the postseason, maybe less. Right? But I can't do it because we don't know. It's not just that the pitching staff is different. It's that the entire pitching philosophy is different. We haven't seen that in action. We've seen it during spring training. They have the third best ERA in the entire sport. But what does that matter, right? It's still 0-0. So I don't know. Where's the depth? That's the one thing I will 100% agree with. 100%. Right? I'll 100% agree with the fact that there's if someone in the rotation goes down, your backups are probably Cooper Criswell. I'm struggling to find another guy. I am. Right? Do you push up Wilcom and Gonzalez? Do you do a sort of thing like you did with Brian Bayo where he only gets, a month in AA and AAA? Do you do that with Richard Fitz? Night, Dennis. Right? That's my one problem. But, I mean, there's plenty of depth everywhere else. You go down with a bullpen arm, you got, as we've seen this spring training, you got like 3 or 4 guys who could potentially be big pieces in that bullpen. Realistically, Devers or Casas goes down, your season's probably screwed, but you could have the most deep team in the entire world and Devers or Casas goes down and you're screwed, right? That's just sort of a, no crap, right? Sort of a no crap situation. You could have, your rotation could be Dylan Cease, Corbin Burns, Garrett Cole, Joe Musgrove, and rounding it out, you have Zach Gallen. And if Rafael Devers breaks his femur, heaven forbid, you're probably still in a bad place. So I don't know. I don't know. I think we just need to wait and see, man. I think we'll just need to wait and see. And you know what the worst part is? You guys are probably right. Like, statistically speaking, you guys are probably right. You probably are. There's probably a really good chance that they're under 500. There's probably a really good chance that even if they are above 500, they'll miss the playoffs. But I just can't say it because we don't know. I think losing Giolito really hurt the season, not because he's so great, just because he give us a lot of good innings. I don't see where those come from. Yeah, I think he was a big aspect of what this team was going to be or could have been. I don't know if it's insurmountable versatility because I just, you know what I mean? I just don't know. I don't know because it could very well be insurmountable, right? But can you get Cutter Crawford? Because like I just outlined, right, where we went through every single one of those pitchers and what they would need to get to in order to make up for the 180 innings that you lost last year or this year. I think it's very unlikely that you actually get that. But I also think there is a chance that you do. I appreciate that versatility, but I don't mind people hopping over to Robbie. He's a good guy, even though we disagree on the over under. Dumb questions, but is Wong still the catcher? Or was he DFA'd? He's still the catcher, King. Oh, you changed your. I can't read it. Sorry, King. Do I see us going 8-2 to start the season? That would require, 2 out of 3 wins from Seattle, sweeping the Angels, or I'm sorry, sweeping the. Let me look at their schedule. It's the Dodger logo. I thought so. What's my opinion on David Hamilton? I'm sorry, Mike. He's solid. He is decent depth. If they desperately need someone, he'll be able to give it to you. I don't think he's ever going to be a major league regular. Does Reese get traded to DFA'd? I think they end up DFAing him. That's my opinion, though. What was I just looking up? I was looking up something. What was I just looking up? Was it versatility? Did you say something? Thank you. Red Sox schedule. Can we confidently say Reese? No, it's not 100% guaranteed. It's my opinion that he won't. All right, so you open the season with Seattle. I always do that. I click on the spring training one like an idiot. Okay, so you open in Seattle. The tough part about the Seattle one is that you're going to be playing super late. And I don't know if they'll be able to adjust as quickly as humanly possible. Because obviously, I think the Mariners get back pretty quickly and they're used to it. If they could do 2 out of 3 from Seattle, sweep Oakland, sweep LA, then yeah, it's 8-2, right? 2, 6, 9. I think it's more realistic that they do. Maybe they do 4 games against Seattle. Split Seattle 2-2, sweep Oakland 5-2, 5-2, 7-3, 7-3. I would say 7-3. After 20 games, you'd be happy. 20 games put you what? Seattle, Oakland, LA, Baltimore, Angels. I should say Angels. So Seattle, Oakland, Angels, Baltimore, Angels, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. I think you'd be over 500 after that. If they're not over 500 after the Pittsburgh series, I will declare the season over. Right, as much as I like Pittsburgh, and their young talent, they don't have a pitching staff to really compete, in my opinion. Cleveland didn't really do much this offseason. I think they'll still be solid. They'll probably win. They'll probably be a over 500 team. Baltimore will be and Seattle will be real competition. Angels, it depends. I guess they could wind up this offseason getting a Snell, and then it becomes really interesting. But even with Snell, that's 1 out of the 6 games, maybe. Yeah, that's probably exactly what's going to happen. Versatility. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just unbelievably frustrated. You know what I'm frustrated about, chat? You know what I'm frustrated about is and for the third year in a row, Memorial Day. That's a good indicator. Yeah. That's a good indicator. Here's what I'm frustrated with. I'll be totally honest with you, Chad. I'm unbelievably frustrated with the fact that for the third year in a row, we have to sit here and defend this team, right? I'm so sick of being like, well, it could go right, because that's just how my brain works. It's just how my brain works, right? I sit here and I say, I cannot give up on this team at 0-0. But the fact that I have to sit here and say that and go into a big long speech about it, you know what I mean? Just frustrates the hell out of me, because realistically, if they had done one thing this offseason, that is bring in a legitimate starting pitcher, if that's all they did this offseason, if they didn't even get Vaughn Grissom or Tyler O'Neill and they just got Jordan Montgomery and Eduardo Rodriguez came back, I don't think any of us, obviously there'll be people always are negative about it, but I really don't think there are any of us who would sit here and be like, yeah, this is a 70-win team. Or realistically, I don't think I would have to sit here and just essentially complain, right? That things could go well. I don't think I would have to do that. Yeah, Bob Dylan. And that's why everyone's so frustrated, right? Because all they had to do was one thing. One thing. That's it. And it was get starting pitching. That was it. I don't care if they had made one significant, like legitimately significant trade. If they had traded for, if they were the team that traded for Corbin Burns, or they were the team that traded for Dylan Cease, or they were able to apply George Kirby, or they were or Logan Gilbert, or even Bryce Miller or Wu, whatever his name is. Yeah, King, whatever. Like if we were able to do any of that, I think we're all sitting here being like, I think this team has a shot. Yeah, Tariq Skubal. That's a perfect example. They were able to get Tariq Skubal. Every team in the division didn't get better. I don't know. I get so frustrated by it because I sit here and I'm trying to justify it. And rightfully, I don't have many people in my corner, which again, I'm perfectly okay with arguing all day. You know me. You know me. But I just, one off season, just one season. I want to get to regular season play, and for all of us to be like, hey, you know what? even if Eric was like, this team's gonna break even, right? It's way better than they're gonna be a bottom 5 team in the league. Man. I'm talking myself in circles here. Sox are 50-50 to be a good team this year. Yeah, that's my whole point, right? It's larger than, a 5% chance that it's good. Here's the entire return for Dylan Cease. Someone asked about it. Drew Thorpe, Padres number 5 prospect. Samuel Zavala, number 7. Jario Irate, number 8. And right-handed reliever Steven Wilson, who is not on the top 25. So I'm going crazy, Chad, as you can tell. And this usually happens. This has happened. This has happened in 22, in 23, and now it's happening in 2024. I don't know. At some point, I'm gonna crack. How do you justify the unjustifiable? Yeah. Well, I just did, Eric. Right? I kind of just did. The only thing I will never, and I haven't done this entire offseason, the only thing I will never do until they actually prove they can do it is justify what the front office is doing, because they're not doing their job. They're not. At least ownership isn't. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if Craig Breslow's overwhelmed or if it's something like that. I don't know what Craig Breslow's up to. We haven't seen what he can do really yet, because he was kind of hamstrung this offseason. So yeah, you like the new Bayo Ace emote, King? For those of you who want one of those emotes, Red Sox personalized emotes, or Red Seat, personalized emotes. Just want to be entertained. That's it, Floyd. I want to be in August. That Casas one I love because it's so colorful. Casas, because he's always painting his nails a different color. I made 35 tie dye, gave him his signature sunglasses, and put him in the grass. Yeah, John, that would be incredible. I don't know. I think Breslow's got power to do like minor trades. I think we thought about a big pop emote. We could think about one. Yeah, I like to do them because I want people to use them during games, but we'll see. Yeah, I can't make it bigger, versatility. I'd love to make it bigger. I just can't. No. No, Eric. I don't think the problems this offseason are on Breslow. Do you think we'll get Montgomery? I don't think the odds are super good right now, Mason. I don't think it's impossible, but who are the players and your jerseys in the background? Devers, and then that was Xander, and then it was Turner. I don't know who it's going to be this year. Maybe it'll be Grissom. I doubt they'll give Grissom 2. Although maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe a white outline. I tried to give it a white outline. It didn't work. I can workshop a little bit versatility. We're better than Toronto this year. Toronto has a lot of holes, man. They don't really have a deep lineup unless they get those career years from Kirk, Varsho. I don't even know who's in left field for them. Kiermaier. Rodon was not great. He looked pretty good, but yeah, he hasn't been great this offseason. What does the trade deadline look in your eyes? Best and worst case scenario? Best is that if we are close to a wild, what were we last wild card spot? Or last wild card, what were we last season at the deadline? How far out from wild card are we? Yeah, I do sell merch. It's on my YouTube page. There's a store tab. Alex, you can take a look. I got a whole bunch of Red Seat stuff. If you guys want to take a look at it, I got to start advertising that a bit more. People always ask, and I have to advertise it. But either way, every team in our division has questions. Yeah, the Red Sox just have more. Does that mean that those questions don't go right? No. That's my point. All right, Ruse, I'll give you a cut. 4 out. We were 5 games above 500. Maybe we were 5 back at the trade deadline last year. I don't think that. I think we were closer than that. Standings, MLB deadline 2023. All right, where all 30 teams stand. Well, that doesn't help me. We were 57 and 50. We were 6 games above 500. I think we were. I think we were. I thought we were. Yeah, Eric, you love it. Where is that? Where do we even go to find that? We were rated 10th in a Major League Baseball. We couldn't have been 5 games out of a wild card spot. I think we were closer. Standings, MLB deadline, MLB July 20th. We'll do 27th. 3. Okay, here we go. The Red Sox were in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had the 6th best record in the AL on July 27th. 4th in the division. I think we were 2 games out of a wild card spot. 2 games. Or we were in one. Because Baltimore was a division leader. Tampa Bay was a division leader. Texas was a division leader. 1, 2. We had the 3rd wild card spot on July 27th. So we were within a game and a half, 2 games of a wild card spot. Why were we trying to figure this out? Why were we trying to figure this out? Oh, best and worst case scenario of the deadline. Best and worst case scenario of the deadline, right? Yeah, we did. We finished 11 games back. That's not good. Here's my point. My point is that I don't remember, chat. I tried. What's up, Ash? 3.5 games back. Okay, all right. I think I have my point now. If the Red Sox had added at the deadline, I think this would have been a different conversation. If they had done something at the deadline. So I think best case scenario here, is the Red Sox are close enough in striking distance of a wild card spot like they were last year where they were 3-4 games out. Right? Because then if they're 3 or 4 games out, I think Craig Breslow has enough gumption to be like, hey, we need to go out there. We need to fix this goddamn team or get this goddamn team what they need. Because if they can do that, then we'll see. Yeah, Cease got traded to the Padres. Worst case scenario is we are dead last. We are 7-8 games out of a playoff spot, and they start trading Pivetta, Martin, Jansen, O'Neill. If they have one of Bob or CJ and they're doing decently, Ref Snyder's probably gone. So that's worst case scenario. But you look at this, and I think I'm looking at the season as 2 halves, right? Win the first half, you're a different team in the second half, in my opinion, right? So I'm not really focused on what they're going to look like after 162. I'm focusing on what they look like after, 81 games? I want to know what they look like after 81 games, because is that the dead middle? Let me see. They're 55 and 47. Okay, that's certainly not. That's 100 and what? The 102 games. That's where I want. That's if they are within 4 of a wild card spot, 3.5, 3, 2, whatever. I think this team looks different coming out of it. I do. I have more faith in Breslow at the deadline than I did Chaim Bloom. '81's halfway. Yeah, that was my thought. I meant whatever it is at the deadline. Whatever the number is at the deadline. They get to that. Who would be our best current player? Rafael Devers. If they play 102 games at a 54% win rate, that's exactly what they did last year. And I think that is possible. Why would it at the break? Because everyone's going to cost half of what they cost going into the season who are on other teams, right? And I think if you could get to the deadline and you are competitive, you aren't going to need a ton. Am I going to go live for the opening day game, or is that too late for y'all? No, I'll be live for it. We'll suck it up. Right. So if they're handicapped now, they've got about half of that to spend at the deadline. So if you have 10 million now, you've got essentially 20 million to play with at the deadline, because these guys are going to cost 10 less realistically, because you're already past halfway through the season at the deadline. So someone's worth 20 million at the deadline's worth what? 8, 9? That's a lot different, right? So that's why I think they'll be able to add at the deadline as opposed to right now. So in my opinion, the entire season, you get to the deadline and let Craig Breslow cook a little bit. Just see what happens. Because, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I think Craig will be aggressive. Who's going to pitch till then? How much longer is Jansen Red Sox? Feels like the writing's on the wall. I think unless they make another move this offseason, Jansen will be with the team to start the year. The Red Sox should re-sign Adam Duvall. I don't know. You already got Tyler O'Neill. Ceddanne Rafael is playing incredible. How many outfielders can you have? Right-handed guys, Craig is aggressive, just got handicapped. Yeah, I think that's part of it. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, Mike. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think the only way they trade Jansen at this point is if they get Montgomery, and I don't have a ton of faith that they're going to do that. Can Dahlbeck play the infield? Yes. Do you think we go after Lorenzen? I could see Lorenzen. Yeah. Yeah, Mike, you know how I do this? I talk and I look at chat trying to pick out stuff to sort of move the conversation along, right? So if it's a question relating to what I'm talking about or it's close to what I'm talking about, I'll throw it in there. And I saw yours and it made me dead stop. Montgomery for Jansen and Ref Snyder. I don't think they'll need to move Ref Snyder. I'd move Jansen for Thorpe. Yeah, I think everyone moved Jansen for Thorpe. Oh, infield outside of first? Yeah, you could play third base. He came up as a third baseman. Hey, he's got some experience at shortstop now. You can play right field and left field as well. Just joined what I miss. A lot. I don't even know where to start. You missed an all-time rant, Mark. You missed the Padres trading for Dylan Cease. I think that's it. Kike has experience at shortstop too. True. White Sox are actually looking at Lorenzen. That sucks. He only plays twice a week for $1.8 million. That's chump change, right? The Crawford rant, I forgot. Oh, yeah, we did a rant about Crawford. I was just talking about my rant on not giving up on this team yet. Team. 1 year, $1.5 million. 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 $1.5 milli Not about he who should not be named. Yeah, that's a first. I was honestly prepared today, chat, to go into one of those rants because I have a full take on it. Anyone else injured? Grissom probably definitely won't be starting the year with the team, and then Ref Snyder he broke a toe. Those are the two big ones. Also, I'm thinking Rafael Secure center field, Duran in left field, Abreu in right field. It's an interesting one. I would say I truly believe Cedon. I truly believe Cedon ends up starting in center field. I think Duran ends up in. I don't know, man. I starting opening day. What did I have opening day? I said it would be Tyler O'Neill, Cedon Rafaela, and Jarren Duran. And I think it'll be Duran center, or I'm sorry, Cedon center, Duran probably O'Neill right and Duran left. Can I give you hints? Yeah, he pitched for your team and then he pitched for Japan and now he's trying to get back into baseball. How am I faring outside of Red Sea Radio? I'm all right, Mike. I'm hanging in there, man. I had some stuff going on, but we're dealing with it. Remember when the White Sox had a good season? Yeah. Remember when the Red Sox had a good season? Yeah, I have Yoshida at DH. I think he'll have mostly games at DH. No, I'm not slandering Massa at all. Not at all. If that's what you're saying, King. Wickelman and Fitz can be starters easily. Yeah. I think Fitz to me is a guy who I think could surprise a lot of people. Imagine Game 7 of the World Series versus the Dodgers at Fenway. Corbin proposes and hits $1 million. Boy, would that be fun. Crone playing time. What do you mean? Like this spring? He only has one. Meant the other guy? Oh no, dude. I'm slandering the heck out of that guy. I'm just tired of talking about him. Yeah, I have seen Yoshida's giant sunglasses. They're hilarious. I think this is downfall of Boris Corp. If that's the case, we all win. I think Karab has talked about this too, and I agree with him. I think a lot of guys are going to be sitting there and being like, especially guys who are first time into free agency, you know, like some of these veteran guys. Some of these veteran guys, I think, are going to be still okay with waiting it out. I think a lot of these younger guys are going to be like, "Hey, man, I don't want to do that. I'm 30 years old. I don't have time to sit around and these are my pivotal years because you know obviously 30 is when you either get into the okay you can be a long lasting figure in this league or you just sort of taper out. Look at Chapman. Chapman to me doesn't like feel like a guy who's going to age incredibly well. And you waited for so long that if you now he's signing a 1 or 2 year deal. If he doesn't perform this year, his career could be over in 3 years. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of these younger guys going forward are going to say, well, wait a second. I might make, $50 less million than I would if I signed with Boris, but I have security and I have the ability to prolong my career with another team or with another agent. I think some of the big guys will still go to Boris. And again, I think it'll be a lot of those veteran guys who, started in the league at 20 years old and are now 30, 27, 28, 29, 30 and are hitting the free agent market. But these guys who came up at 24 and are 32, I don't think they, even if they're, trying to think of a guy who came up at 24, say Jarren Duran does what he does for what he did last year for the next, 5 years. And at 2029, he becomes a free agent. There's no way a guy like Duran's going to Boris, right? He's going to want that security because Duran could go a million different ways after 32 years old. So I don't know. And the other thing too is I think there's a lot of I think Rafi's signed to a Spanish speaking agent if I remember correctly, or at least a bilingual. Rep 1 baseball. You know what I'm interested in? I'm interested in seeing if there will ever be a team or player that does their own. Has there ever been someone who's done that? Man, Rep One is a terrible website. Yeah, versatility. And there's a lot of teams that just flat out don't bother with Boris anymore. Someone brought it up. I can't remember if it was baseball or dead or not, but he said like the Cubs were like, yeah, we're specifically not the Cubs. The maybe it was the Braves. The Braves flat out publicly were like, yeah, we are not dealing with Scott Boras. And there were a couple other teams who said the same thing. On the Kike deal with Hagenman, I think so too. What's my opinion on Eric Sims? I think he's a very, very smart YouTuber. He's a very, very smart YouTuber. He comes off as dumb, but he knows exactly what he's doing, and he does a really fantastic job at it. I wish I had him or Fuzzy or I wish I had him or Fuzzy's ability to I wish I had their ability to understand and create content, because in my opinion, in terms of baseball, they do it differently than everyone else and has worked out fantastic. In terms of the person, that's my thoughts on him. You're gonna edit that, but you saying Ruse. that'll be $10, Ruse. Oh, Scott Boras is definitely still the best agent in baseball. The problem is, if you're a young player, are you going to be willing to wait? $9.99, take it or leave it. I'm in. You should use MLB The Show for possible trends and stuff. Should be fun. I was thinking about doing. I wouldn't be able to do it this weekend. I had some friends coming to town for St. Patrick's Day, but I was thinking about doing like just a mess around MLB The Show stream. I thought about it. I appreciate that versatility. Thank you. I just don't, it's something that you have to just naturally have. I don't have that. I have to force myself to do things I'm uncomfortable with. Guys like Fuzzy or Eric Sims, especially in the baseball world, are very good at being uncomfortable, and I need to get better at that. Does Greg Weiser the best slider in the MLB? I don't know about the best, but it's nasty. What could we get for Kenley if we moved him in a package? Essentially nothing. Wish it wasn't spring training? Yeah. We'll have our chance. Daddy Dimmu? Yeah, that's a good one. Did I buy Emily's show? Yeah, I pre-ordered it, so I'll be able to play it, 15th? Ask for and medium. Wait, what, Mike? Was the Sox game today against the was at the Sox game against the Yankees? Pavetta looked pretty good. Acosta's bombed too, but Joely got rubbed off. But hey, can't complain about a wing. Yeah, must have been a fun game to be at, Vader. An extra medium? Okay. Should play subs. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun if we just like sat down, grinded, and talked. But I don't know how many people would watch that. I'd have to get a whole bunch of stuff to get it set up on my computer. So that's sick, Alex. Any chance we see any one of the big three come up? I would say Teal is most likely. I don't know if we see any of them this year. I think a lot of it's going to depend on the team record and their performance, but I also think a lot of it's going to depend on team health. Like if the team's fully healthy, I don't know if they really like if there's a reason for them to if there's a reason for them to call him up. Jess said it's hard to just say let's bring up the kids because there's still pieces on this team that are very significant pieces that are on this team now, right? We can't move Trevor Story for Marcelo Meyer. He hasn't been healthy in the minor leagues yet. I'm not moving Duran, Cedon, Willier, or O'Neill for Roman Anthony, at least not until I see what he can do in AAA or this year, right? In general. And then Teal's the only one I think would be interesting to see come up. But he hasn't really had the opportunity to play a season yet in minor league baseball. He hasn't really had the opportunity to learn what it takes to call a game in Major League Baseball. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see sort of what that looks like as the season goes on. I do think a lot of it, like if the Red Sox are terrible and they really are a 70-win ball club, is that really like, are you losing anything if you call one of those guys up? I don't think so. Next year, if you go, yeah, of course, Alex, I'll be there. Yeah, exactly. Versatility. There's no reason to do it. So that's the only reason I'm saying, like, come September, if they are truly terrible, there's no reason to call them up. If Wong McGuire goes down with an injury and Teal's continue to perform the way he has been, he's coming up almost for sure, but otherwise next year maybe. I wouldn't say for sure, right? You got Tyler Heineman, you got Roberto Perez, especially if it's early on in the season. I don't think there's any way. But if we're in September and Wong's dealing with a hamstring injury, they may opt to just be like, just bring up Teal. Give him a little taste. Because there's no reason not to. I'm good, TD. I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, Valdez hit a tank today, too. The problem with Boris is he don't care because he wipes his butt with $100 bills. Well, but he also gets his clients the ability to do that as well. And so that's thank you, TD. It's been a while, man. I miss you, too. Good to have you back. We'll be gearing up for the regular season. Next week will be the season preview, chat. Ooh, next week will be the season preview. He hit almost 240. Oh, 440. I thought you meant last year. I was like, yeah, I guess. I thought you meant at the plate. I was like, I guess that's an accomplishment. Yeah, Vader. It's a tough one to get over. Love it. This season will be interesting. Be prepared for last place, but I want to see the kids. Yeah, I think it's a good way to look at it. I'm prepared for last place, but I still have hope that they don't end up in last place. All right, chat. 908. We got it. Next week maybe we'll do a 3-hour stream just to start getting ready for the regular season. But until then, chat, we are gonna hop off here. Either way, I wanted to give a quick thank you to all the returning members, Clip, Versatility, Adam, Mike, Dennis, and everyone else who was here tonight. Versatility, for your donation. Again, you're incredible. Taylor, Prodigy, of course, thank you so much for your donations as well. I got to start really sort of honing on you guys, Mike and Versatility again with the gifted subs. I appreciate it. Soxilla 500. Yep. Soxilla 500. I can't, Ash. I got to work out before bed. I got to get showered. Next week we'll do a full. Next week we'll do the full. Next week, we'll do the full 3 hours just to get prepared for the regular season. But either way, I want to give a quick thank you to everyone who was in here for the full time. I appreciate you. Yeah, we'll be back next week. I'm thinking we'll probably do Wednesday just because I might need some recovery time after this weekend. But either way, we'll be live next week, getting ready for the regular season, previewing the regular season. Appreciate it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, you've been here this whole time, make sure you guys hit that sub button. It would help a lot. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. If you guys want to become a member of the channel, get some extra live streams, get some extra videos, get some extra everything. That link is in the description of this video as well. Appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow, where I had an idea and then I totally forgot. But we'll figure it out and we'll get to that video. Either way, thank you all so much for clicking on this one. And I will see you all in the red seats.